Welcome to today's video. Today we will be making a no-sew bag. I'm making a pretty decent sized bag. I was going to make it a messenger bag, but then I made the straps a little bit too short. I can change them out later on if I want. But I'm going to leave the right side just folded, and I'm just going to tie the bottom and left sides of the bag. And I decided to do thinner strips this time because I've been doing thick strips, and I feel like this would leave slightly less gappage and might be easier to tie and could potentially be stronger because there's more knots. I don't know. And as my theory predicted earlier this week, it was much easier to tie these being thin. Also, I learned a little trick on how to keep the knots facing out so the strips aren't in your way when you tie your next knot. So tie, for example, the left strap over the right strap at first, and then when you go to knot it the second time around, put the right strap over the left strap, and then the ends of the knot will just stick straight out to the sides and they won't get in the way of your next knot. This is a very time-consuming project. Like, it's fun, but it is very time-consuming. I thought, I was trying to go as fast as I could, and it still took, twice as long as I expected it to. So, it's a good pastime. It's a very fun little hobby to do. It's very, easy and straightforward. You're just doing the same thing over and over again. I've been crocheting a lot, though, and so my hands are very stiff right now. And so this was, even though I was trying to go fast, this was still going very slow. It was kind of funny. I was laughing at it the whole time. Also, I'm sorry my voice is a little, weird. I don't know how to describe it. I'm recording this much earlier in the day than I usually do. I just woke up a little bit ago, but I have plans today, so I'm trying to get the video done early so I don't have to worry about it later. And so I'm still waking up. My voice is still not ready for the day yet, so I'm sorry if it bothers you. Doing this no-sew project with this specific fabric kind of makes me think of Native Americans. You know how you go to the costume store and there's the, stupid generic Pocahontas dress with the strips of the fabric at the bottom, kind of like this. That's what it makes me think of. I used to have a Pocahontas dress costume when I was a kid, and this definitely makes me think of that. It also makes me think of moccasins for some reason, especially the fabric tassels that we did earlier this week. I think I've seen tiny tassels on moccasins before, and it's giving me high school flashbacks, kind of. It's very interesting. Like I said in yesterday's video, you can pre-measure this stuff so that you don't have to, finagle around in the corner there. I just eyeballed it, and there's no gap there. It's fine. You don't have to make it perfect. When you tie these little strips, they're gonna bunch up the fabric, and there's barely gonna be any gaps between them. You don't have to worry about, measuring things out perfectly. But you can if you want, if it makes you feel better. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's really funny making these videos, trying to make these super easy, not super strict crafts. I'm, having a lot more success and fun making these, whereas when I make a project on my own, it has to be perfect. If I'm trying to make a product, it has to be perfect. It is so funny. I'm such a weirdo. I don't know. So if I was trying to make this to sell it, I would be measuring out every single quarter inch or half inch or whatever, and I would be making sure that square was perfectly cut out, and I would cut off this frayed edge on the left you see here. But just doing a fun little video, this is a fun craft, and I think it looks cool like it is. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's so weird how that is. Why is that like that? I don't know. It's so weird, but I've noticed it in many of these projects. So once we have our bag done, we're gonna make the straps. And I'm just making some big fluffy fabric straps. I think these fabric strips are probably about 3 feet long, 2.5, 3 feet. If you want to cut strips on the sides and, you know, leave them loose or tie them, that's totally up to you. I'm just gonna leave the fabric as it is. And we're gonna go ahead and cut a little horizontal strip. If it's vertical, it might tear through the bag if it, you know, gets a little bit of weight in it. So we're gonna cut some horizontal strips a few inches down from the top and an inch or two away from the side. And we're just gonna cut through all 4 layers because it's 2 layers on each side and we're cutting through both sides. So there's gonna be 4 holes total, 2 on each side of the bag. And you can see how big I made mine. If I were you, I'd make them a little bit smaller, especially if you're not using as much fabric as I am in my straps. I just made them that big to get them through the holes, but I still think that they were too big because there's a bit of a gap, like a bit of a hole in the finished product. So I'm just tucking these 2 fabric strips in, making sure they're facing the right direction, and I'm just tying a giant knot. And with this much fabric, tying a knot is a lot harder than it sounds. You can see how much I was struggling doing this. I didn't do this, but you can also twist your straps if you've got big fluffy straps like I did. I didn't do this at first, but I did it after recording the video. You can twist the straps together so that they're a little bit neater. But the way I did them here, you can drop the straps down to either side of the bag so they're not in the way. But these straps are long enough, so even wrapping them around each other, they're still not in the way. They just go off to one side of the bag. I understand this is more of a girly craft, but guys, this is a great present for girls for Christmas or birthdays or something. Keep that in mind. It's super easy to do and it doesn't take that long. I hope you found this video interesting. I hope you have a wonderful day and happy crafting.